Good afternoon, everybody. Today is January the 19th, 2021. My name is Sam Finley. I am the founder of Tyrannosaurus Hunting Club. Tyrannosaurus Hunting Club has been a long time in the making. It is it's the brainchild of Joe and mine from back in the days of the conservative warrior movement. Joe was my campaign manager when I attempted to run at the U.S. House seat for District 12 here in Texas. They're in Texas. I'm currently in New Mexico working. But life got in the way. Everything kind of got put on the back burner for a while. And now is the time. We had planned on waiting until we could save up a few bucks instead of doing this on my iPad, that we would actually have some camera equipment, lighting, proper things of that nature. Well, with the recent events, I deemed it necessary to go ahead and put out a statement regarding Tyrannosaurus Hunting Club, as well as everything that's going on in the nation. A quick rundown. Like I said, my name is Sam Finley. I consider myself a student of Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and Thomas Paine, with a sprinkle of Samuel Adams and Francis Marion thrown in there for good measure. If four-letter words offend you, well, you're in the wrong fucking place. I'm sorry to tell you that. I use proper pronouns. I don't do the he, she, whatever. If you a he, you a he. If you a she, you a she. And that's just how I am. I'm not politically correct. I read a quote, and I posted it on Facebook this morning through my alter ego, Benjamin Dovermore, that political correctness is a muzzle given to us by the left. I am a very disgruntled former Republican. I don't consider myself a Republican anymore. I'm a right-leaning libertarian. The whole Tyrannosaurus thing came to me on Thanksgiving morning, 2020. Sometimes a good name is what it takes to provide motivation. The name Tyrannosaurus. We all know what a T-Rex is. Short-armed bastard that has an attitude. We need a platform to bring everybody aware of what's going on across our nation. Obviously, we can't rely on our mainstream media. Too many of the alternative medias, they're trying to be broad focused. I want to be broad focused with a microscope. I want citizen journalists. I want the average housewife to, the average blue collar welder in Ohio, presenting information, letting us know what's going on in your neck of the woods. And I am having one hell of a time knowing that the camera's over there, but for some reason I'm looking over this way, so y'all deal with it. January 6th. I don't want to say, I'm not going to excuse their actions, because in many ways that they didn't do anything that a lot of us didn't think about first. Okay, Joe, love you, brother, but there's some of us who think on a different level. Joe is my statesman. When I need moral advice, when I need to be brought back down to earth, Joe's the man I go to. I've got my brothers out there, Jeremiah, Rick, Chad. y'all are my blood brothers. I've known y'all have known me for longer than 90% of the people that I deal with anymore. But there had to be something for us to keep everybody updated. Yes, Connecticut is Connecticut, Texas is Texas. They're worlds apart, not just in culture, but in politics. But what happens in one does affect the other. And eventually, everything comes full circle. So, if my buddy Jeremiah up there in Connecticut is dealing with senators and a governor who have lost their fucking minds, then you know what? Us down here in Texas, we're dealing with a governor and a senator that's lost their fucking mind. Governor Abbott, he's done several great things for Texas, but he's also kind of screwed the pooch on a few things too. And I will hold him accountable, and I expect every one of you to do the same. I gotta quit saying That's a bitch. Joe, we'll talk about that. Anyway, my main focus right now, though, is their reaction to January 6th. Numbers have changed anywhere from 15 to 20,000 National Guard. And I know Rick, Chad, Jeremiah, and I are all laughing because we all know what the National Guard's capable of. In some ways, they're kind of probably like the old 8th Com. But when it comes to shutting down the Capitol buildings across the U.S., whether you're in Washington State, Tallahassee, Florida, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, those Capitol buildings were paid for with our blood and sweat and tears. These politicians, these tyrants, they want us to trust them to make decisions that are right. But look what they've done to us. We can't trust them on the way they spend our money, the way they look at our security. And by all means, do we trust them with our rights too? It's not pretty, folks. So that's where we have to come in and help each other. And we have to look out for one another. This organization, it may be my brainchild, but there's a couple of different directions we want to go with it. And honestly, if you look at this face, this ain't the face that I want representing it. I want nothing more than for my appearance on these videos to be very minimal. I'd rather be the guy behind the scenes. Jeremiah, I'm looking at you right now, brother. This is going to be your puppy. My focus right now, other than this, is going to be on helping promote the Texas nationalist movement. If you're not familiar with that, read a book. It's written by a man by the name of Daniel Miller. It's called Texas, Why and How Texas Will Have, Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. If you're looking for a copy of it, folks, please go to Tango November Mike Echo. That's TNM.me. Buy it there, please. I think it's like $16.99. Amazon, I think it's $18.99 for the audiobook. But yes, I am a Texan through and through. I may have been born in Oklahoma, but Texas has been my home for as long as I can remember. That's what I want to see happen. Is I want Texas to become a republic again. I want us to be self-governing, not to be selfish, but to be the guiding light, or the North Star, or whatever you want to call it. I want Texas to be the compass for the remainder of the states. Every state that we have in this union is great in its own accord. Whether it's the blueberry trees and bears up in Maine, whether it's the beaches and everything else out in California, the fruit and nuts, emphasis on nuts. But every state has something to be proud of. Oklahoma is rich in heritage as far as the Native Americans, the plate, how they got there, the geology. I mean, there's a lot of things that are great about Oklahoma. And yet places like that are flyover states. They're less important. No, not in my America. So the reason I want to focus on the Texas National Movement, maybe a little selfish, yes. But in the long run, I think it's easier for us to control what happens in Austin than what happens up in Washington, D.C. Yeah, it's going to be an uphill road. If it doesn't happen, you know what? I'm still got my pulse, or my thumb on the pulse of what's happening in D.C. This country is an amazing place. It's offered millions of people opportunities that they never would have seen elsewhere. But it's losing direction. All of you need to take stake in what's valuable to you. Embrace your families. Embrace your culture. Stand up. Because if we don't do it now, we may not get another opportunity. Love y'all. God bless. Semper Fidelis. And maybe the next time you see my ugly mug, it'll be with a better camera.